it's your lovely Abbie Dagrin, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, lovelies. Today I'll be continuing a series on my channel that deals with natal chart analysis, and today I'll be doing a natal chart analysis / reading on Will Smith. I'll be speaking on his placements and how a lot of his placements deals with his characteristic traits and personality, as well as how it has led to a lot of the success he's endured. So please stay tuned for the rest of my video, lovelies. If you have not yet become a part of the Abbie Dagrin family, then this is your calling to do so, lovelies. Please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when I upload videos on the daily. Also hit that like button because I know you guys will love this video. Also share this video with all your friends, your family members, your enemies, anyone in general who really loves natal charts and who really likes Will Smith, and someone who would appreciate this content. Will Smith was born on September 25th, 1965, and this qualifies him to be a Libra. So since he has a sun in Libra, he tends to be very graceful to others and trying his best to be nice to people. He also has a magnetic feel, which a lot of people do feel around him. If you've looked at his career, you can see that a lot of people love to be around him and a lot of people just love his presence. And that's something that comes with him having a sun in Libra. He's also known for being social. Yes, he loves to be around people all the time, whether it's his family or whether it's just friends. And he does at times like to be very charming. He has a charming thing about himself, and that's something that gravitates people to him. So I really do feel as though he does represent this placement, especially in regards to all the placements or all the things he's gone through in his career. Next up is his moon in Scorpio, and with this placement, it's actually one of the hardest moon placements after Capricorn and Aquarius. Scorpio moon is kind of hard as well because people in this placement don't really know how to express their emotions. They are very intuitive. They do know what's going on around them. However, it's hard for them to express their emotions. And this is something that Will Smith has talked about, especially because he talked about the DV that went on in regards to his mother and his dad or stepdad, and how he would hurt her or do things that were negative towards her, and he didn't know how to defend her. He didn't know how to react. So having this placement makes sense because he is very alluring, very intuitive, and at times he can be intimidating, but he can read people like a book, and that's something that is done especially when you grow up in an environment like that. So he does live up to his moon in Scorpio because not only his background and all the things he's gone through, but the way he expresses his emotions. Next up is his Mercury in Libra, and he has the same sun and Mercury, so it's a lot easier for him to get his point across and for him to understand himself. So having a Mercury in Libra is one of the most effective orators of all of the zodiac signs. A lot of people love to hear and talk to people with this placement because they just have great communication and they're able to be verbally eloquent. They are gentle and diplomatic in the way they speak. They try their best to be harmonious, even though at times it can be hard, especially harmonious when they speak. So even if they're upset, they're still going to try their best to make sure that their words are harmonious and don't cause dissension. At times, he can be assertive but not harsh, and he can be very enthusiastic and can see all sides of an issue. Next up is his Venus in Libra, and with this placement, he is very social and charming, and he may enjoy the courtship leading up to a serious relationship. So being a Libra, Libras tend to be very social and they tend to be very charming. So he has a stellium in Libra, so being social and charming is part of his personality and the type of person he is. So having a Venus in this placement makes him always like to be that, and he enjoys courtship, and he enjoys what leads up to a serious relationship. He can be very elegant when approaching someone he likes. He can be very artistic and very balanced with someone he likes, and he may be the type of person that falls in love easily. He may give good advice, and he may be the type of person that does not like rude behavior because it will make him very upset. Next up is his Mars in Virgo, and with this placement he's very practical and rational, and is also a person who loves rules and maintaining a schedule. He's a person that's very serious and wants to make sure that everything around him has order and everything around him has a schedule, so he knows what's going to be done throughout the day. He's very careful and systematic, and he pays great attention to details. Details are a must. You're always seeking for perfection when you have this placement, and that's something that Will Smith has always looked at. Sometimes he may get bogged down with searching for the ultimate adequacy, and sometimes he may not do what he wants to do because he needs perfection to be in it. However, with having this placement, it's important to know that anything that you put your mind to, even if it's not perfect at the moment, eventually it will be. Next up is his Jupiter in Virgo, and with this placement, he has a strong work ethic and a stern moral code. If you've looked at Will Smith's career, you will see that he's worked a lot, like he's worked non-stop. So he does have a strong work ethic. He has done music. He's also done a lot of movies. He's done sitcoms, he's done shows, he's done comedy. So he's done a lot of different things. So working is something that he really prides in. And I think he has a stellium in Virgo, so it makes a lot of sense. He's very diligent and can be very organized. So that's something that does also come with being a Virgo in any placement, especially Jupiter. And that's something that he really likes to do. He loves to use perseverance in order to bring luck to himself and in order for him to accomplish his goals. Next up would be his Saturn in Aries. And with this placement, he tends to be more rational and thoughtful, and this can be used to his advantage. So having rationality is important in anything that you need to do in life. Intuition is also important. However, rationality is something that's important as well. And being thoughtful is something very crucial as well too. And when he has these placements, he's able to use it to his benefit. He has diligence and modesty when it comes to this placement, so it's also able to help him become who he wants to be. He's very independent, and sometimes he can be standoffish. However, he's also known as a person, regardless of the obstacle, he's going to make sure he turns that obstacle into something beautiful and something that can be used to his advantage. Next up is his Uranus in Virgo, and with this placement, he has amazing intuition. Having intuition is very important because it can help him know what he should do as well as what he shouldn't do. He'll also have the wisdom as to what's better for him and what's not good. He'll know which business move to go into and which business move not to do. And he's able to assess the situation based off of what he's given and all the details that's given. And with that situation that he assesses, he's going to make sure he moves in the right direction that benefits him and make sure that he's going to win at the end. And he's responsible and logical. He will look at any scenario and figure out the solution that makes the most sense, and that's something that with this placement has helped him a lot with a lot of the successes he's occurred or endured. Next up is his Neptune in Scorpio, and because of this placement, he's one of the rare signs that find pleasure and inspiration from the darkest of places. So he's the type of person that maybe likes dark humor or may try his best to be inspired by things that are the darkest. One example would probably be between his parents having that DV situation. It encouraged him to work very hard and encouraged him to make a name for himself and make sure that he was successful, because he did want to make sure his mother would never have to live a life like that again. Because he is a part of a generation that is interested in anything deep and mysterious, it's not really shocking, and with this placement, he's able to inspire people. Next up is his Pluto and Virgo, and since he was born between 1957 and 1972, then he is a part of Generation X. With this placement, he has a perfection and down-to-earth attitude, so he loves to do things that are fun, and that's something that he does have, is a down-to-earth attitude. If you get to meet him, people say he's very fun, he's great to be around, and he's the type of person that talks about the environment and things that deal with technology. So that's something that he likes to do, is talk about being hardworking, being self-improving, and being skilled. This is the contribution that he brings, being a part of Generation X and having a Pluto and Virgo. Also, he's the type of person that loves to help others and offer them the practical care necessary to improve anyone's status. So with him being hardworking, he wants to make sure that everyone around him is cool and that everyone around him is able to make a name for themselves and have success just like he was able to have it. Next up is his North Node in Aries, and with this placement, his mission is to be bold and assertive. He has to use his energy and courage to inspire change. He has to identify with the warrior within, assert his self-will to overcome challenges, take risk and not be afraid to speak his mind, be the pioneering spirit of his generation, not to be concerned with what others think or want. He has to follow his own desires and that there is no way that he can go wrong. He has to surround himself with people who support his assertiveness and his boldness, and he has to be the spiritual warrior that he is meant to be. So this is his mission in life by having this North Node in Aries. And that's something that he will need to look into so he can accomplish everything and know his path in life. Next up is his Kieran and Aries, and actually this is one of the hardest Kierans to have. Having it in Aries means that you do have self-confidence issues, because with the other Kierans like Sagittarius, they deal with outside forces like religion or things like that. But with this placement, you're dealing with how you look at yourself. Self-confidence, thinking that you're not any better or thinking that you're not worth it, and just things that aren't positive. So by him having this placement, he may not believe in himself at times. He may compare himself to others and may be self-engrossed. However, in order for him to heal this, he has to move forward with loving himself, accepting that everyone is different and he is one of those people and it's okay to be different, and acknowledging his strengths and his weaknesses and knowing that his weaknesses don't make him weak, and he can go into his weakness and make them his strengths as well. Next up is his rising / ascendant in Gemini. With this placement, he's very sociable, he's very clever, he's very witty, very knowledgeable, very versatile, logical, and trendy. He loves to learn. He may be restless and appears impatient at times. He has a talent with words. He has a bubbly side and also a cool intellectual side. He appears witty and charming. He may have short attention spans, and he may mimic other people's personality traits and styles. With this placement, which he balances it out with his Virgo stellium, he may not like schedules, so he loves to do things spontaneously. He may be gifted with his hands, and he may be a social butterfly. So based off of these traits of a rising in Gemini, I believe that it's actually great for him to have it since he's in an industry with this. So I think he really does live up to this placement. Last but not least is his midheaven in Aquarius, and with this placement, he tends to be very intellectual, very independent, very creative, informative, and unpredictable when it comes to his career. So him going into music, and then he went into acting, because at first he wanted to go into music, but then the acting really helped him. The show that he had, this sitcom that he had. So he was very creative with his career. He does a lot of things on TikTok, Facebook. He's a person that loves to do different things, and that's what he loves to do. He loves to challenge people around him, and he enjoys learning and understanding that knowledge is power. And he wants to make sure everyone around him knows that, and that everyone knows that having knowledge is important, and they're able to use that knowledge for his benefit. So him being in the spotlight isn't shocking. That's all I have for you lovelies today in regards to Will Smith's natal chart. Please let me know down below, did you learn anything new about it? Did you get to understand Will Smith a lot more? And let me know if I left anything out. Please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Also, share this with everyone you know and hit that like button. Also, let me know down below who else you would want me to do natal charts on. And if you have not yet followed me on all of my other social media accounts, and this is your timing to do so, lovelies. I do not post a lot of the content on here that I post on all of my other social media accounts, so you're missing out on a lot if you don't subscribe or like or follow me on all my other social media accounts. Make sure if you are feeling generous to support me through my PayPal, email down below, and my Etsy store. I love you all. Please stay safe and healthy, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, lovelies.